For those of you who are taking PROPE, wanted to spend a few minutes to revisit some of the guidelines for the PROPE event that's scheduled for November 15th of this year, 2019. If you haven't done so already, I want to bring to your attention all the information in Notion, the Notion page, where all of your information about your team projects can be found or should be found. So make sure that you go through here and you add a name to your team, list your team members according to who's going to do what. Make sure that you've listed your team topic and the country or countries that are going to be represented. Remember that the idea is to address your team topic and persuade someone to either think differently or to take action, and think of a country or countries that are the most relevant to your particular persuasive idea. So one of the reasons or one of the things to consider is to make sure that you have a good reason for selecting a country or countries to promote your overall argument. All right, so the first thing that I would like to ask you to do as a group is to go into the Notion page and make sure that you have gone through and completed all the information, including the to-do list for each person, who's going to do what, and make sure that you have all the rest of the information completed. All right, so again, go through and add this information. Remember that a good performance is going to have the following things. These are the first things that come to mind when I think of a good performance for this particular event. Number one, everyone should participate equally. That's both in terms of the preparation and in terms of the overall performance. Regarding the participation of the performance, make sure that everyone speaks more or less the same. So beyond just the overall work that's involved in the actual presentation, whenever you speak, you're going to be given about 20 minutes or so to talk about your topic, and we're going to be scheduling basically 4 different groups or 4 different presentations. So you're going to have an opportunity to present your presentation several times throughout the event. Number 3 here, the presentation is a persuasive discussion or presentation. So make sure that you have a clear purpose and you're using the appropriate style in terms of how you are presenting your ideas. So the purpose is to change someone's mind, as I mentioned before, and also or to persuade them to take certain actions. Now, the last thing here listed, the performance should demonstrate your knowledge and skills learned in each of the PROPE courses. So remember that this event really is an opportunity for you to demonstrate what you learned in listening, speaking class, reading and writing, grammar, and also the cultural class. This is very much rooted in a lot of what you learned in culture class. So the idea is to think about all of the different ways that you can demonstrate your persuasive argument, and think of it in terms of showing what you've learned, some of the high points for your particular topic. So in my case, being your facilitator for grammar class, for grammar and context, you're probably going to want to choose a text that comes from this particular context, and it could also be work that you created for this particular event. So, for example, in your culture class, many of you were asked or are going to be asked to create a document or some sort of paper that relates to different aspects of culture. So you can include some sort of grammar analysis taken from that text, from the text that you created. That is a possibility. Or you could select text from an authentic source and choose to create a grammar analysis around that text. All right, so I wanted to basically go over some of the key points to this event. We'll be talking more about it in class, but I think, again, the first thing I would do is to get with your team members and make sure that you have gone through here and added and completed all the information for this PROPE event, And notice down towards the bottom, you'll see the schedule in half-hour increments for who's going to be coming in from other semesters of the BA degree and coming in and asking you questions. I think it's important to mention also that the students from the upper levels will be giving you feedback. So they're going to be basically going in and filling out an online kind of a survey to provide you direct feedback and information about your presentation, as well as obviously asking you questions during the event that relate to what you are presenting. So as we get closer to the event scheduled for November 15th, again, we're going to be scheduling this event from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon, and you're going to have an opportunity from 8 a.m. to begin setting up your stands. We're going to be in your respective classrooms, and then people will come in and out of the classrooms to hear your presentation. So we'll have basically 4 groups in each PROPE class, and we'll have basically 4 corners, 4 designated spaces for you to set up your stands. Okay, so that's about it. We'll talk more about it in class, but I wanted to give you this overview as a reminder of what we're going to set out to do for the PROPE event, and to remind you to fill out the information in the Notion page, and I will try to do that within the next couple of days.